In today's episode, we will be making landfall after a very long journey. We will start building up our wood production facilities, finding some rare resources, and meeting some unwanted foes. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rolo, and welcome back to Pioneers of Pagonia. So it's been a while since I've actually played this game. I know the previous series that we did was around the latest update where we had to deal with some scavs, which is the new enemy in Pioneers of Pagonia. But this time around there's a sorcery update, so a lot of new things have been added to the game, as well as some of the items that have not been available for us to use are now usable. So I decided let's give it a go before we wait for Foundation's release. That's on the 31st of January, which I'm very excited about. So with that said, we are going to start with a new game. And I think we are going to do objectives with enemies, of course, because we want to fight all of those new enemies. We are going to make it like the largest size that possibly can. And we are going to put it on the advanced difficulty. I don't want it to be too easy, but also I don't want it to be so difficult that you can't really enjoy the game. So this time around, I was thinking of, I don't know, I did Lush Forest last time around, I think. So I think for this time around, maybe we should do... Yeah, let's do Windy Highlands. That seems like a very good choice to take. So we'll take Windy Highlands. We're going to take the advanced difficulty and we are going to start. Right, so there's a few different new enemies that have been added to the game. A lot of new buildings that have been added, and some of them gotten a facelift as well. So it's really there's some really good content that has been added, which we are going to explore. I haven't touched any of the new sorcery parts of the game, so this is going to be very new for me as well. So while we wait for the game to load, I'll see you then when we start to build our little settlement. Alrighty, so we've been loaded into the game, and not many real differences from the get-go. But I think some of the UI elements might look a little bit different, and we'll see later on that some of the settings on your expansion, especially the guard towers and how you assign units, are a bit different. So let's explore a little bit and see where we can go to with this island. So I do see here on the right there's some copper, which is going to be very helpful. Our little forestry area is right smack in the middle, so that's going to be fine. I don't really see any animals. I need to find some animals quite quickly because I'm going to need a lot of leather, which is one of the main resources that we need to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's create like a little T section here so that we can build our woodcutters camps and our sawmills quite close to the forestry area. So with that, let's start off with the base ingredients that we need. So for woodcutting, I'm going to build 2 woodcutters huts. That's also always quite important. And then for a forester, we might move this, but I don't think we will be doing that this time around. So I'm going to build 1 forester there for now and 1 over here. Seems like the space is a little bit cramped. So let's keep it for 1 forester for now. I think that should be fine. And then also we need to build a few sawmills. So sawmills are probably going to be one of the more important buildings in the game. So let's start off with 3 sawmills. It might be a bit overkill for the very start, but it is definitely something that we will require for us to grow. I'm just going to set the speed to be 2, so it's not as super slow. So as we saw earlier over here, there's a bunch of copper here that we want to take into account. So we are going to build our first guard tower here on the right hand side, as I want to go up here to the right. It does, however, see like there's a mountain range here, so we might not necessarily get as much value, but we're going to go here up the mountain to the side around, which should be fine. And then our explorer's hut, we can possibly put a little bit more to the center for now, so that we can explore this whole little area here. I do see there's some coal here as well, which we'll definitely need a bit later. So from a food perspective, I don't see any possibility to gather a few things, but I do know that one of the new buildings that was added, I can't remember if it was added in the sorcery update or a bit earlier, but it's going to be fishing. So I think since this is close to the actual fish, I'm going to add some 2 fishing huts over here, and they should then automatically go to that particular resource. We don't really have to worry about that too much. Hunting, like I said, we can't really hunt over here, so there's no real additional food that we can get. But one really new cool update is the update to how farmlands are specified. So one of my biggest problems within this game is that you can't multi-select different farms or different farmland types. So now you can copy it and you can paste it to the different farmlands that you want. So that's super cool, and I'm very happy that that was something that they added. Right, so we also need to look at actually feeding our little village. So just gonna build out this section over here, and we are going to, first item that we need to, building that we need to look at is the provisioner. So more buildings will be making use of the provisioner to actually function. So we will be building 2 provisioners, as that should be enough to satisfy us for quite a big chunk of the game, especially the early game. And we also need to start looking at expanding our village, because that's one of the mistakes that I made in a playthrough, is that I did not have any way to replenish my actual residence. So there was no way for me to really complete the game, because all of my residents basically were forced into being military units, so I couldn't really do anything else but that, so it kind of got to a stalemate. So yeah, it wasn't the best. So I'm just gonna start off with some basic few chairs, some eating areas we don't need too much, and some places for them to get some market stalls, and then we're gonna build a few homes. I think I'm gonna start with 3, that should be enough, just as a basic start. Right, so I think we have most of the starting items. I think we can actually now build the additional forester in here. There should be space, there we go. And then we also need to build a well, which is also very important. There we go, for some water storage. The next important buildings that we do need is related to our hiring of new people. So we will definitely need a guild hall. So let's see where I think on the guild hall I want a little bit more central. So let's see if I can maybe put the guild hall over here somewhere. So the guild hall is very important if you build mines or need more people to work at certain locations, that they will go here and be recruited. And then we also need wood workshops, as these things will build some of the weaponry that we do need, as we are definitely going to need a lot of that. So for that I'm also going to build 2 wood workshops over here, like that. That's skew. So I'm going to build 2 of our wood workshops here. So that should give us a decent start, so that we can actually start building those weapons and getting a decent army set up. Just want to see where there's stone, because stone is also one of the resources that I do really need. So I want to find stone first. So let's maybe put the explorer hut to focus a little bit more to this side, because it does seem like there's a potential for some stone and stuff here at the top. So yeah, stone is also one of the core resources that we do need. I don't think we have enough like raw stone. I think there should be on the ship just a little, no, there's a little bit of stone. So we can actually, yeah, I'll build the stone mason and the stone mill a little bit later. So I'm just going to speed it up just a tiny bit. I just want the explorers to start exploring here at the top to see if there's any possible stone that I can get to. And also animals, so that I can get some leather, because that's obviously one of the very important parts that we need. So yeah, we don't have any guild halls, so like I said, because we can't hire anymore. That's why the guild hall is so important. So we should soon get some newborns within this little village. We also need some food production, but we will get our fish quite soon. So yeah, that'll be really cool. As soon as we can get this tavern up and running, we should be able to create comfort meals and all that, and that's what you need to grow this civilization, especially early on. So from a mining perspective, there's quite a few new buildings. So I think it's the gold mine and the gem mine. Those are the 2 main new ones. And then some of the military buildings, like the Arcane Academy, and some of these artisan blacksmiths. We can now actually produce these magic blades, magic torches, and all that. So that's super cool. So there's a bit of stone. So what I'm going to do, as I'm going to tell these guys to put their claim focus over there so that we don't waste too much time to try and expand the territory here when we don't necessarily have a surplus of stone. Because if we run out of border stones, we are going to have a massive, massive issue on our hands. So I'm just going to speed it up a little bit more while we wait for that. I think I should be able to build like a very small little farming area over here. From what I can see, I think it should be best for pumpkins, so that should be really cool. So let's build a small little vegetable farm. This is just going to be as a start, just so that we have at least some food that we can reference. Alright, so I'm just going to plop these down. And I'll show you now the massive improvement that they've done. So I can go and select pumpkins, and I can go and copy it. I can just click and then drag it. So now I don't have to go on each individual one and go and place it, which was probably one of the most frustrating things that I had to deal with. Oh, an enemy camp spotted already. And it's... oh, it's specters. Oh, I hate those things. I need to get Fearnauts then quite soon. Gee, this is gonna be a difficult one. Because they are going to be feared the whole time. And I don't think I have any leather close by to actually be able to build that. This might be a bad generated start, but we'll see how far we can handle it. If we can't gain any traction because of that, we'll just start off with a new one. So I'm gonna build 2 quarries for us. Let's try and make it just a little bit neater. So let's build 2 quarries, connect them up, and we can let this road go up here to the north. And then we can get that precious stone. Right, so we have some fish here, I think, in this market stall. I think that's what we are planning on getting here. And what do we need here? Cut stone. Okay, so gonna need our stonemason. Can probably put our stonemason down here as well. And we are going to need our stone mill. We don't really have the need for yet because I don't believe we have limestone laying around. No, we don't. So no real reason for that, because that will produce cement, which we will also need quite soon. So as soon as we explore a little bit into this area, I'll expand our production buildings, but we do need that cut stone first before we can actually start doing that. Yeah, I honestly don't know how I'm gonna get past this area. There's so many specters. And the problem is with them, they basically cause you to drop your tools. So it's not gonna be easy. You know, you see staff incomplete because they've all been scared away. And that's what I'm very, very afraid of. Alright, so let's see. We have a treasure hunter, which can find tools, metals. That's maybe the thing that we do need to get out of this situation. So let's get a treasure hunter as well as a geologist hut. So the geologist hut was there in our previous episode. The treasure hunter is a bit different. You need to find maps. And then these maps will then allow you to go and find a specific place that you mark. And then you can get the treasure from there. So yeah, we'll see if we can make that work. Let's just add a well over here for the vegetable farm. Just want to see. Okay, so they don't have any water, so that's what they do require. And I also need to find... what is this? This is a light spire. Can't remember what this thing actually does. Yeah, I've never built this building before at all. So it makes use of scholars. Okay. That's really cool. So yeah, these 2 buildings I've never used. Even this one, the jeweler. So, yeah, let me decide. I want to find that building, but I can't seem to get it. It's, there we go, the construction camp. Let's build it over here, just so you have a place for them to stay. And then our miners will start getting the stone that we do need. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't know how far we will be able to get up here. We'll have to see. But we are going to claim this whole section for us. So we should have a decent little area that we can really make good use of. So what does the guild hall require? Cut stone. So let's prioritize the stonemason so that we can get cut stone. So I'm not going to create any border stones just yet. Yeah, you should receive your food soon, don't you worry. So that's what I mean, like they do require quite a lot of these rations, which our provisioners will provide. So that's very important. So yeah, that should be a good one to start off with. Yeah, so unfortunately we don't really have a lot of other things to find just yet. I think there's definitely some good resources over here just on the other side of this mountain, but we can't get to that. There's a little bit of copper here, so I think we should actually build a copper mine or two. So let's maybe do that. So from a mining perspective, a copper mine, I think one should be enough for now. And then we also need to start looking at military. So a garrison is not what we need. We will be needing... let's see, it's over here. No, that's not the one. Gee, that's one thing I just need to get to navigate myself a bit better. So those are all of the tailor workshops. I think it's the adventurers guild that we need. Because we need to get all of the more complicated, well not more complicated, but the magic related units. I think I'm gonna build the barracks over here. Is it a barracks? It's a military academy. Apologies. Just as I start, so we can kind of make this our little military training area. And have some area to store all of the wooden spears, which we also will need. But I think we're now producing the cut stone. And that will then propagate through the rest, where we will be able to build all of the rest of the buildings. So I'm going to pause it here for now, and I'll be back once all of our base buildings are built. And then I'll close off our video. Alrighty, so all of our buildings have been built now. And I did notice that we do have a tiny bit of leather available to us. That's on our ship. I highly doubt that this will be enough leather, but it's enough for us to start actually making something from it. So we need to start looking at building our tailor's workshop. So let's add it over here. And we'll find a decent use of this little space here that I skipped. So with the tailor's workshop, we will be able to create these light armor, and that we will need for us to be able to create Fearnaughts. And Fearnaughts are the go-to to fight specters. So because they don't get or they don't really get afraid, so we do need to try and focus on that. So it's definitely gonna be a bit difficult, so we will see what we can do with that. So we let that build. And just a few things that I've changed on the woodcutting hut. I then put this to on, so it will only fell fully grown trees. This is just to avoid that you fell all of the small trees, and then basically prevents you from really doing anything, because it's kind of then preventing the saplings to grow, so they cut off everything, and it just puts a lot more strain on your foresters. So I do like to use that a little bit more. Your wood production, I think, just goes down a little bit at the beginning, but for me that's okay. The geologists are also now busy searching for some resources that we can mine. So far they haven't found that much, they just found a bunch of coal, which we can't really use that much at the moment. So we do need silver, which at this point in time I don't know if we're gonna get silver, but that's fine, we'll manage it. But I think for now that should be a very good start, and I think we can take this on and build from this. If we don't get further, I'll just restart a new playthrough and just build it up to the same point where we got to with the previous one if you can't get any further, just to avoid duplicating stuff. But yeah, I think this is a good start for us for the magic update for Pioneers of Pagonia. And yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.